or you are contemplating on the subconscious impressions. Choose where you want to contemplate upon. So this idea, this conviction that I have vasanas is only a working theory given to us because we feel that there are some inner urges which disturb us. So how do you explain them? So the scriptures have come up that there are something called subconscious impressions, but when we become devotee of the Lord or when we are contemplating on the self, at that time we don't give any value to these things. It's not worth it. You'll get caught up, as he says here, you'll get caught up in the Maya. So instead of getting caught up in the Maya in a cyclical thinking, I have to clear, instead you contemplate Om, 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 or Om, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. Om Gam Ganapataye Namah, Om Namah Shivaya. He who sees the 6 faults in his gross body but not in the eternally pure soul. So what are the 6 faults of the gross body? We told you last week. Forgotten. What are they?
Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha.
So she says there are Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. What other 6 faults are there? Urmis are there. At the body level.
Hunger and thirst.
At the body level, no. Heat and cold. At the breath level, hunger and thirst. At the mind level, sukha dukkha. So these are the shad urmis, or sukha dukkha come because of likes and dislikes, raka dvesh. So these are the shad urmis. So either you take that 6 or you take as this kama krodha as the 6 faults. But they all belong to this gross body and not the eternal pure soul. Pure soul is pure consciousness. It is ever pristine, immaculate, untouched by the thoughts, by the subconscious impressions, by the breath, or by the changes in the body. It is not touched. This we saw in the Kathopanishad also recently. And in this way, eternally pure soul who regards hunger, thirst, happiness, sorrow, grief and fears, etc. as defects of the vital winds and mind and intellect complex and who is detached from the various aspects of the behavioral world, the mind and intellect of such a person is your own abode. So he who is not worried too much about what? Oh, this is not right. In a particular environment, I have to behave like this. Oh, I have to take a present whenever I go to someone's house. They invited me for their birthday and I have to also invite them. I must do a birthday bigger than they celebrated their birthday. This is social competition that goes on, or comparison that goes on, or social etiquettes we get caught up in, thinking that we have to behave in a particular way. And we put that expectation on ourselves. And but one who is devotee, he says, Mast raho yaar. But not because he wants to escape that. Because he is taking the name of the Lord, he becomes so much in love that he doesn't want to dilute himself by going out and mixing with and following the social norms. So he is happy in his room. He is happy with himself. Why? His body is the temple where the Lord is abiding, and he is happy going to the sanctum sanctorium, going to the temple, Garbhagriha, again and again by taking the name of the Lord, by contemplating on him, by going into samadhi, and that becomes his pastime. And in this way, and we saw here they have made a special note that the 6 faults or defects relevant to the body are power or authority, birth, increase in shape and size, change, decay and destruction, death. Meaning birth, growth, disease, decay and death. These are the Shad Vikaras of the body. पश्यन्ति ये सर्वगुहाशयस्थं त्वां चिद्घनं सत्यमनन्तमेकम् अलेपकं सर्वगतं वरेण्यं तेषां हृदब्जे सह सीतया वस. He who sees the Supreme Being represented by you, who are enlightened and eternally blissful, a personification, embodiment of truth, eternal without an end or a beginning, and the one and the only one are faultless, untarnished, as well as unattached, dispassionate, are all pervading and worthy of adoration, worship, devotion, as being present in the soul of all creatures. O Shri Ram, you should make residence in their lotus-like hearts along with Sita. This is the prayer that is being made. So, if you want to, what do you want to put in your heart? Anger? Jealousy? Yuck.
No.
Resentment? No. Then whom you want? Love. Where will you get love from? Mummy? Nah. Daddy? Nah. Then from whom?
Everybody.
No, from Lord Ram or Shivji. Put the Lord in your heart. He is of the nature of love. So when you get the love from Daddy, Mummy, that Lord, that Bhagwan, in their heart is giving you the love. Daddy, Mummy, God in their heart is giving you the love. Understand? As you grow, you will understand. If you keep coming, you will understand. So the Bhagwan gives us the maximum love. Nobody else can compare that love to come to him. So what do? So when you see Daddy, you see Bhagwan in him. When you see Mummy, you see Bhagwan in him. And you can see Bhagwan in him or her only if you see Bhagwan in your heart. Then it will, फिर मस्ती hai. Enjoy, only enjoy. Bhagwan meeting Bhagwan, so wonderful, no? So he's saying that you should make residence in such hearts along with Sita ji. निरन्तराभ्यास दृढीकृतात्मनां त्वत्पाद सेवा परिनिष्ठितानां त्वन्नाम कीर्त्या हतकल्मषाणां सीता समेतस्य गृहं हृदब्जे. He whose mind and intellect have become stable by constant practice, who involves himself in the service of your holy feet, whose sins and accumulated evil deeds have been destroyed. And how do the sins and evil deeds get destroyed? Only by remembering the Lord again and again. Only by taking the name of the Lord. How they are destroyed? By the singing of your holy name in chorus. Their lotus heart is the residence of both you and Sita. So incessantly, या तो तुम chant करो Om Namah Shivaya, or you chant Om Shri Ram Jai Ram, or you chant Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, or you chant Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Whatever mantra is dear to you, you keep chanting it, and the Lord, along with his wife, he will come and settle in your heart. All this was told by Sage Valmiki when, remember the story, Ramchandra ji came to Sage Valmiki's ashram, and Valmiki, when he was told that Ramchandra ji has come, he is a sage, he is a realized master. He comes and gives the great respect to the 16-17-year-old, and he also, Ramchandra ji and Sita ji in turn, touch his feet and they sing his glory, and then he sings his glory. After doing the puja of Lord Sri Ram, he says, I know what is past, present, future. I know who you are. So, and when and in that vein, he started singing his glory in this manner. That and now Valmiki ji, he will start telling his story, how Ramchandra ji's name has transformed a killer into a realized sage. We started with that story. I'm just quickly going to go through it, and go through means whatever we did last week, and I think after 66th verse we have to start. राम त्वन्नाम महिमा वर्ण्यते केन वा कथं यत्प्रभावादहं राम ब्रह्मर्षि त्वम् अवाप्तवान् अहं पुरा किरातेषु किरातैः सह वर्धितः जन्ममात्रद्विजत्वं मे शूद्राचाररतः सदा. O Sri Ram, by the potential power, that means by your Shakti and grace of that holy name. What is the name? Ram. I have achieved the exalted stature of a Brahma Rishi. Who is Brahma Rishi? Brahma means the infinite truth, the infinite reality, the Parabrahma Paramatma. And who is a Rishi? A great sage. How do you see a Rishi in your photographs? With a beard like this. And he's always sitting straight, not like me. I have to remember, sit straight, spine is straight, and always in this chin mudra is always there on his chin, or he's having a dand and Rishi standing there. He's got a mala in his hand. Sometimes we see that way. So Brahma Rishi is who is a seer of truth, and Brahma Rishi is who has come to not only see the truth but is abiding in he has become one with the divine, and that is Brahma Rishi. And a sage who has attained the supreme state of Brahmahood. How can anyone describe the glory and fame of that divine name? How can you explain that which is beyond the mind? Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. How can you define that experience of unity with the Lord? And because that experience of unity with the Lord is beyond your words. Stories tell us Lord is thy, we should remember. But who is going to tell what after you are united with it? When you are united with sleep, can you talk about sleep while sleeping? No, you have merged into sleep, isn't it? No thoughts. Same way, once you are merged into the divine, you cannot speak about it. Therefore, he is saying it's very difficult to speak about it. In an earlier time, now he is telling his story. Aham pura kirateshu kiratai saha vardhitaha janma matra dvijatvam me shudrachara rata sada. In a previous time, I lived and was brought up among the Kirats. They are the tribals of the forest. My activities and behavior were like Shudras. Who are the Shudras? Because our Vedic culture accepts the division of society, or no, I shouldn't say the word division of society. It recognizes that human beings in a society are divided or express as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Brahmana are the educated ones, contemplative ones. They are continuously seeking something higher, whether it is usually it is secrets of the universe or want to become one with the truth, and they are not interested in running the world. They are not interested in money. They are not interested in food. Therefore, they go for alms. If someone gives them the money, they will use that, but not keep it for more than 2-3 days, because they are not interested in accumulation. Kshatriyas, they are the managers, they are the warriors, they are the generals, they are the great politicians who are working for the community, not only for their pocket. They are the Kshatriyas. They can mobilize the people for the benefit of the country. The Maldives gives problem, one call, the whole country boycotted Maldives. This is Kshatriya Bhav. He invoked. Normally he is sannyasi, but he invokes. Then there is Vaishya, who are business type of mindset. Their mind is always thinking how to make $1 into $2, $2 into $4, $5 into $10, how to double the money. And they, wherever they look, they see the business. So such are Vaishyas. So, and the Shudras, they are the lazy ones. They are they need to be motivated. They don't want any responsibility. They will work for all the three, Brahma, Kshatriya, Vaishya. For all of them they will work, but themselves They are not inspired to do anything. They can't think big. They don't want to study. They don't want to be involved in any projects. Why? Eat and make merry and sleep. So if you sleep till 10 o'clock, you are a Shudra. If you get up at 4 o'clock, you are a Brahmin. If you are interested in studies, you are a Brahmin. If you are interested in money, you are a Vaishya. If you are interested in leadership qualities, then you are a Kshatriya. This is only a recognition of the divisions that are present in a society. This I explained last week also. I'm not going to go into that. And in this way, he says that even though this is the lowest one, we don't say lowest. In every society, all these four are required. You cannot run a country without the Brahmins. You cannot run the country without the Kshatriyas. You cannot run the country without the businessmen. And you cannot run the country without the Shudras, who are the workers in the society. All of them are required. Brahmins are always very few. Kshatriyas are a little bit more. Vaishyas are more. And Shudras are the maximum. And he says that I was born a Brahmin by birth. Again, our Vedas, they do not say that you are born, you are a Brahmin by birth. You are always only by your karma and by your jnana, by karma and knowledge. How you act in life and what you think in life. Are you thinking good? Are you thinking higher? And are you putting that in action in your life? That determines which stage of which part are you Brahma, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. If your knowledge is there's nothing in this life, what is there if the sun comes up early? Why should I get up 6 o'clock? Why sun has to come up at 6 o'clock? I want to get sleep till 12 o'clock. It is only Saturday, Sunday, only 2 days I get to sleep. Other days I have to forcefully get up at 5 o'clock. Shudra Buddhi. Low thinking. So you have heard now in the class that you should get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. That is your Brahmin. But when Sunday comes, Saturday comes, you say, that was Swamiji was telling, Adhyatma Ramayana was telling, but I want to get up at 10 o'clock. Mummy, only one day, Mummy, only one day. So what is happening? You have knowledge that you should get up in the morning, but your action is different. It is not matching what your knowledge is, isn't it? So that means there is disconnect. You are not doing what you are thinking. When you are not doing what you are thinking, how will you raise yourself up? How will you become a better person? So this is how it was. So in our Sanatan Dharma, nobody is born. Every child is born a Shudra. Yes, last week I told you who is a Shudra? Who needs to be taken care of. Every child needs to be taken care of. Nappy has to be changed. Food has to be fed. Shower has to be given. Clothes have to be put. Child cannot put the clothes by himself or herself. Cannot clean the bum by herself or himself. Cannot change the langot by himself or herself. Everything mommy or daddy have to do. So when you are dependent on everything on someone, such a person is a Shudra. So every child is a Shudra. As you grow up, are you interested in business? Only business, money. You are a Vaishya. Some people join the army. Some people become politicians at young age. Some people are leaders in their universities or schools. They become school prefect. Kshatriya. And some people, they are quiet, they are calm, they are happy for no reason. They are always contemplating. They are not depressed. They are not sad. But they are always thinking about something higher. Or at your age, they are continuously thinking, I want to study the next year mathematics. Oh, I have finished that also. I want to study the next year's mathematics and physics and course. Brahman. So you have to develop that interest and grow. So similarly, here he says that I was born to a Brahmin parents, but then what happened? Shudrayam bahavah putra utpanna me ajitatmanaha tataschauraishcha sangamya chauroham abhavam pura धनुर्बाणधरो नित्यं जीवानाम अंतकोपमः ekada munaya sapta drushta mahati kanane. Many sons were born from my Shudra like sperms, though I was born a higher class Dvij. My deeds had turned me into a virtual Shudra. So your actions, if they are very lowly, when you are surrounded by people, what people? Those who are stealing, those who are killing, those who are having no etiquettes, no character. Then even though he was born to a Brahmin father, but he's behaving like a thief. He's behaving like a murderer. Not behaving, he's murdering people. So he's saying, I'm surrounded by such people and I also became like that. So be very careful what type of friends you choose in life. Choose good friends. Choose friends who motivate you to be more than what you are today. You also motivate them. Let them also choose friends who motivate you, not put you down all the time. Move away from them then. If we don't need that type of friends who are always putting us down. You also don't put anyone down and don't get put down by anyone also. You always choose friends who help you to be more than what you are today and you help them to be more than what they are today. Then it is good. Then you will grow and your friends will also grow along with you. Parents should also be like that with children, not only find faults in them. Our language with them should be always positive. Have the trust, have the faith that they will be good children. But we, because of our pressures in life, we feel that I'm tired and you are not doing it. Come on, do it. And I know you will make this mistake again and again. How many times I have told you? That is wrong language. I know. Instead you say, okay, now you do it better than this. Give them the responsibility. Have faith in them. Children only work and live up to the expectations of someone who loves them and who trusts. So guide their minds in the right direction and leave it. They'll make 1 or 2 times mistakes, 5 times they'll mistake. Eventually they'll correct themselves. That's the way to allow the children to grow rather than push them. I know you will never do it. And they proudly tell others also. You know, my child, he is always like this only. Every Saturday he sleeps at 10 o'clock only, gets up at 12 o'clock only. And when you tell like that to others, the child is listening. He will say, oh, mummy expects me to tell at 12 o'clock, I'll get up at 1 o'clock. Next time she will say, my son gets up at 1 o'clock only. So even if they are doing it, you say, oh, my children are good. They get up always on time. But sometimes we allow them. That's okay. Then involuntarily the child is hearing that. And in his mind, the words of the parents have a lot of importance. So he starts living up. What is that living up? Sometimes I am allowed to sleep late, but most of the times I am getting up early. Mummy is proud of me because I get up early. Daddy is happy with me because I get up early. Automatically he starts living like that. So this is what psychologically you are creating new networks without imposing it on them. See? But here what has happened to this Valmiki? He's not called Valmiki right now. He's Ratnakar. But I don't know what name they give him here. He calls himself here. So he says, I was surrounded by these Shudra-like people and I had given many Shudra children birth. He says, my sons were born from my Shudra-like sperm, and though I was born a higher class, even though I was born from educated parents, my deeds had turned me into a virtual Shudra. I was living a lowly life, without ethics, without morals, without discipline, only killing and looting. And therefore, the sons born to me were also, for all practical purposes, no better than Shudras. So even his children were of the same quality and caliber like his because he didn't know and they didn't know. So they were also following their father. Then Dhanurbana Dharo Nityam Jivanam Antakopamaha. At that time, due to the company of robbers, I too had become a great bandit myself. This we know. So here, normally we know a story that Ratnakar Daku, the dacoit, he had two children, one boy, one girl, and parents who were living with him. Here he's saying, I had many sons in this story. This is from Adhyatma Ramayana. And then he says, Ekada munaya sapta drishta mahati kanane. Like Kal who represents death for creatures, I too also held a bow and arrow to threaten and if necessary, kill my victims. Jivanam antakopamaha. That is, I used to kill my victims. Now, Ekada. One day, I saw 7 celestial sages pass through a dense forest. So, what story we have heard? He saw Narad Muni passing through. But here it is saying 7 sages, celestial sages. Which is 7 celestial sages? The Saptarishi we see in the sky. Those 7 sages, they are passing by. And they were Sakshan Maya Prakashanto Jwalanarka Samaprabhaha Tananva Dhavam Lobhena Tesham Sarva Parichadan Grahitu Kamastatraham Tishtha Tishtheti Chabravam Drishtva Munayo Pruchan Kimayasi Dvijadhama. He says they were self-illumined like the fire and sun due to their own splendor and radiance. So, when you see something shining, what does a robber do? If he sees something shining in the pocket, steal whatever is that shining. Afterwards, he'll work out. It is gold or silver. First, the shining thing should come. Nowadays, they don't steal shining thing. They see the phone shining. So, they steal the phone. Go to Melbourne City, you will go through that. With a desire, tananva dhavam lobhena tesham sarvi parichadan. So, with a desire to rob them of their priceless clothes, etc., I ran behind them and them due to greed and turpitude. So, lust for what they have. How can they have the goodies and I cannot? I have to get it from them. Once this greed comes in, there is no end to it. It will take over your head. You are jealous of what others have. Even little bit. You can't see them having it. You want everything for yourself. This is how Ravan was. He said, Grahitu kamastatraham tishta tishteti chabravam. I said to them, tishta tishteti chabravam. I said, what? Stop. Tishta tishteti. And the sages looked at me and admonished me, saying, Oh, the fallen Dvij, why are you coming behind us? Now see, first shock of his life. And what is that? Drishtva munayo pruchan kim ayasi dvijadhama. They looked at him, Faltu ka banda mere piche aa raha hai. They are shining, they are rishis, sages. So he cannot even touch them, but he is attracted by the shining of their body and clothes. And when he goes and stops them, they look at him, Faltu ka banda. ये द्विज हमारे पीछे क्यों आ रहा है? Because they can see through the person. So they are only telling the truth. They are not saying why the Shudra is coming behind us. They are saying why the Dvij is coming behind us. Why is he asking us to stop? He is behaving like a Shudra, having a bow and arrow, doesn't look having any etiquettes, but they can see through the facade and they can see that he was born a Dvij. They know his roots. Why are you coming behind us, O fallen Dvij? Fallen Dvij means If a Brahmin is an educated person who is not living for money, who is not living for food, he is living only for higher ideals, he can also fall down to be a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra. For example, Parshuram was born to a Brahmin father, but he fell down and behaved as if he was a Kshatriya. He killed the Kshatriya warrior class 21 times, isn't it? At the same time, Ramchandraji, who is a Kshatriya, he has the equanimity of a Brahmin. You understand? So you can fall also, you can raise yourself up also. And in this fellow's case, the sages have recognized this is a fallen Dvija and they say it so. Dekho maja. Huh? And then he says, Aham tanabravam kinchid adatum muni sattamaha putradaradaya santi bahavo me bubhukshitaha tesham samrakshanarthaya charami girikanane tato mamu churavyagraha pruchat gatva kutumbakam yo maya pratidinam kriyate papa sanjayah yuyam tadbhaginah kimva neti veti pruthak. Then Valmiki ji is saying, because he is remembering from his past. Oh, I replied, oh great sages, I have many hungry sons and family to look after, so I have come to take something so as to sustain them. Meaning, I am doing my duty. My family is dependent upon me, and to sustain their life and sustain their hunger, I have to do. This is the only job I know. Tesham sanrakshanarthaya charami girikanane. I keep on roaming in the forest and surrounding mountains, looting travelers and killing animals for feeding and sustaining my family. He is very truthful. And what is the truth here? Truth is, why he is truthful? Because he is born a Dvij. He is born from a Brahmin. So that DNA is there. So even though he is killing, he is very straightforward and telling the truth. That I am doing it as my duty. Because my clan is dependent upon me. Killing. Then those sages fearlessly asked me, what did they say? They say, Tato mamu churavyagraha prichagatva kutumbakam. So they said, all right, we have heard that this is the dialogue only between Narad Muni and Ratnakar Daku. Here, these 7 sages. They say, all right, you are doing your duty. You are doing this duty to sustain them, take care of them, feed them, protect them. Okay, all right. Go once again to your family and ask them individually if they will share the sins and treasury of evils that you are accumulating daily by your misdeed for their sake. Yo maya pratidinam kriyate papa sanchaya. Sanchaya means accumulation. Sanchit karma, sanchaya. Sanchit karma, prarabdha karma and agami karma. So sanchit, sanchaya. Sanchaya means to accumulate, and they say, you go and ask them, yuyam tadbhagina kimva neti veti pruthak. Each one separately. Go and go and ask each one of them separately whether they will take part of the sins and the evil that you are, the sins that are accrued by the evil that you are performing for their sake. You are saying you are doing it for their sake? Vayam sthasyamahe tavad agamishyasi nishchayah tathet yuktva gruham gatva Munibhir yadudiritam aprucham putradaradin tairuktoham raghuttama papam tavaiva tatsarvam vayam tu phalabhaginaha. Be assured that till the time you come back, we will stay here and not run away or escape. So he saw they are shining people, so he trusts also that these people are people of their word that they are given. If they are saying that they will not go away, they will not go away, and they are assuring him that you go and ask them, we will wait here only. Let's see what happens after that. Oh, the best in the Raghu's clan, Sri Ram, to my surprise, they said, what is that? They said, the sins and evils will be all yours. We only enjoy the fruits that are derived of it, the food, wealth, clothes that you bring for us. We are not concerned how you bring them or how you manage to gather or arrange for them or the means you employ to acquire them. We are only concerned with the fruits of your efforts. Who is saying this? The family. Who is saying this? His entire clan. Who is saying this? His parents, children, the sons that he has produced. All of them are saying, we are not concerned with the sins, we are concerned only the results. So your sins are your sins, but the fruit of your actions, the wealth, the gold, the money, the clothes, that we will enjoy. But we will not take part of the sins that you have committed, because we didn't ask you where you are getting it from. You have decided to kill people and murder people and loot people. We only said we want money and good clothes and good life. You chose it like this, so we are not going to take part in that. Tat shutva jata nirvedo vicharya punaragamam munayo yatra tishthanti karuna purna manasaha muninam darshanadeva shuddhantah karano bhavam dhanuradin parityajya dandavat patitosmyaham. When I heard this, I was shocked, disillusioned, dismayed, and being overcome with detachment. I returned to the place where the 7 sages were. Tat shutva jata nirvedo vicharya punaragamam. While I was returning back to the sages, I started vicharya, I started contemplating on what I had heard from my own family. Munayo yatra tishthanti karuna purna manasa. Okay. On the way, I was constantly reflecting on the significance of this revelation. Till today, I was thinking I am doing it for my family. But my family is not there for me, is not ready to share in anything. Only they want the goodies. What happens? Is there any time you feel? We come across many people. Oh, we are investing for our children. We are buying this house for the next generation. We are collecting the money for our children. बच्चों के नाम पे the urge is, desire is in them to be wealthy, but in the name, put it on the children. We are doing it for them. We are doing it for them, so they don't have to struggle in life. And how many families you know in today's time who say, Dad and Mom, you enjoy whatever you created. We don't want anything from you. We'll make our life ourselves. Many children, youth nowadays, they are speaking that language. They say, we don't want your money. You have given us education, you have taken care of us. Because you made yourself, they also want to make themselves. Nobody wants a handout from someone. It takes away their self-confidence. So many young families I have seen, they don't want anything from parents. They say, you do what you want, you waste it, you give it to ashram, India maybe. They don't want. मैं किसी एक सिंधी के पास आया, सिंधी वाले तो पैसे के पीछे. But the boy says, no, I will make my own. I don't want one pie from you. You have done enough for me. Good. That's how it should be. But parents, nahi, we are doing. We are doing it for our son. We are doing it for our daughter. We are doing it for our son. We are doing it for our daughter. Or then they want to put the guilt on the children. We did all this for you, and this is how you come back to us, that we don't want anything from you. Who asked you to do it? You decided you want to do it for us, and now you are putting the guilt trip on us that that you did all this for them, for us. See, our approach should be that the children should stand on their own 2 feet. Tat Shrutva. When I heard, where are we? Then, so when he is continuously reflecting, Vicharya, Munayo yatra tishtanti karuna purna manasaha, and he was totally, on one hand, see, when you are doing what you are supposed to do, not worried about the consequences. Till now he had never worried about the consequences. He was knowing only to loot and kill, so he did looting and killing. First time someone has come into his life and told him that, hey, you are committing a sin. He knows somewhere deep in his heart, because he's got that gene, he's coming from that gene pool, that he is doing something wrong. But his mind never went in that direction. A drunkard never thinks that he is drinking. लगे रहो जब तक कोई याद नहीं दिलाएगा. अरे यार, I found you in the gutter. अच्छा, gutter? How did I get there? You are drinking. I was drinking. I can't remember. So same here. Muninam darshanadeva shuddha antah karanaha abhavam. See, what has happened now? He has become completely dispassionate from his family, disconnected from his family. He knows. Before he was attached to the family, he was doing all the actions for the family. One sentence, this is the greatness of masters when they come into our life unasked. They asked him one question, he went back, everything, दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी हो गया. And he came back with an empty mind, total vairagya, total detachment. First it was attachment, now there is total detachment. And when a mind is totally detached, what can happen? Nahi. What else can happen? If you don't have proper guidance, what can happen? It can lead to depression, suicide. But here what is happening? He comes with that full vairagya and detachment, and he sees the smiling faces, the glowing 7 sages, and his mind is at peace. So here he says that then my internal being was purified, and it turned towards holiness and spirituality at the sight of the sages. सिर्फ एक हल्का सा झटका चाहिए होता है, बस. A slight, sometimes one word in a satsang, one story in a satsang, sometimes a sight of a great master, even in remembrance, is enough to put you in the right direction in life. Provided we are living our life correctly. And correctly means he was not living life correctly, but he was living with whatever he knew, he was doing from his point of view, he was doing the right thing. Shuddha antakarano abhavam. So his antakaran. What is antakaran?
Inner consciousness?
No. Technically, correctly, it is mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. When the mind divides itself into these 4 types of thoughts, mana, thoughts of mind, mana buddhi, thoughts of intellect, mana buddhi chitta, thoughts of memory, and ahankar, the thought of I, who says the other 3 are mine. This is called antahkaran. So his antahkaran became shuddha at the sight. So when does your antahkaran gets corrupted? Where there is attachment, where there is infatuation, where there is desire, where there is greed, where there is accumulation, there it gets corrupted. He used to do all that. Now, one question by the sages, he went and asked and came back completely empty. His antakaran it was empty. But now, looking at the sages, suddenly it turned towards divinity. It's turned towards spirituality. It didn't go into depression. It didn't go into, ab mera kya hoga? No self-pity. Self-pity is a sign of depression. First sign of depression. No self-pity. I threw away the bow, etc., and fell down like a stick on the ground before the sages. Sashtang Namaskar in front of the sages. See? So, somewhere deep in his soul, he knew that whatever he did in the name of duty was wrong. Somewhere in his mind, he also knew that whatever he did was sinful. Never faced it, but when sages come and tell you, you can't escape it. Their words have a great influence. And with that, when he goes back and comes back totally disenchanted with the family, immediate vairagya. Immediate vairagya. Then what happens? Rakshadhvam mam munishreshtha gachantam nirayarnavam ityagre patitam drushtva mamuchur muni sattamaha uttishthotishth bhadram te safala satsamagamaha upadekshamahe tubhyam kinchittenaiva mokshase parasparam samalochya durvrittoyam dvijadhamaha upeksha eva satvrittaihi tathapi sharanam gataha rakshaniya prayatnena mokshamargopadeshataha rakshadhvam mam munishreshtha gachantam nirayarnavam. He says, Munishreshtha, O best of sages, mam rakshadhvam, please protect me. Why protect me? Because I had done wrong. Thinking that I was doing the right, but I had done wrong. Many times we also do it, isn't it? Many times, all the time. And we justify. The situation demanded that. So he says, O best, O great sages, O best sages, please save me from falling in this ocean of sin, evil, vices and misdeeds, the acts that I have committed which are going to lead me to hell in one way or the other. Please protect me. Seeing me agitatedly shouting or wailing in this way, so he was very disturbed. Who? Our Valmiki ji in his previous life. Previous life means before he became a sage. So he wanted to find a way out of the acts that he has committed. How do I get out of this? And he has got these shining 7 sages in front of him. Immediately, please give me an answer. Please help me, protect me. You are my only saviors. I don't know what to do from here onwards. And seeing him so disturbed, they said what? Uttishto uttishta bhadram te. O auspicious one, get up. They are not calling him the sinful one. What are they calling him? Auspicious one. So they are saying, stand up. The good company that you have had with us has borne fruits and has been successful. One small lamp in a dark room is enough to remove the darkness of the room. Exactly the same way, one short satsang, one short association with a Mahatma, one katakshan, one look by the Mahatma from the corner of his eye and it's in your direction is enough to remove all ignorance, to remove all the sins that you have committed, provided you are available the way he is available. There you go to check, let me see how much of a Mahatma he is. Is he 100%? Is he 99%? And you are looking, he is not wearing the correct color of the clothes. I don't think he is a sannyasi. Oh, some sannyasis have beard. He has got no beard, no hair. What type of sannyasi is no beard, no hair? I have seen true sannyasis, Brahmanist sannyasis, they only have Brahma Dand with them. He is not having, he is carrying an umbrella. How can he be a sannyasi? I have come across, say, Mahatmas, yogis who do not allow to touch them. They must be so pure. This fellow allows everyone to touch his feet. He hugs also. How can he be a sannyasi? How can he be Brahmanist? So we have n number of doubts and wrong conclusions about life, which we superimpose on the possible blessings that you are going to get from some person, because you are already judged. Be empty like this fellow. Be empty and let the grace flow. Let the grace flow. So they are saying that you have had our darshan, you are in our presence, our kripa drishti is upon you, so that even this small interaction with us is not going to go waste. It will bear fruit. It will bear fruit. And it will be successful. You should certainly have welfare and you should certainly have welfare and auspiciousness. We shall preach you a little. Preach meaning we'll teach you a little. That will be sufficient to liberate you. That is, provide emancipation and salvation to you. So we'll give you instructions. We'll tell you what to do. If you follow that, all the guilt that you are feeling with reference to the actions that you have, sins that you have committed, you will be absolved of all the sins and you will be liberated from the guilt and the sorrow that you are feeling from the actions that you have performed. Liberation. And therefore, then they held a brief discussion among themselves. Parasparam samalochya durvrittoyam dvijadhamaha. And they, parasparam samalochya, they talked bit among themselves, discussed among themselves about this dvijadhamaha, about this fallen Dvij. So again, who is Dvij? Dvij is a person who is twice born. And who is Dvij? Dvij is a person who is allowed to wear the Janeu. So who are the people who are allowed to wear Janeu? Not like ISKCON. Anyone comes and wears the Janeu and Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. ऐसे नहीं होता. So only a Brahmin or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya, they are allowed. And it has to be done in a particular manner. Someone has to give it to you through a particular certain ceremony, etc. Or certain masters give it to you, you don't need the ceremony. So sometimes there, to give the mantras or initiation also there is a ceremony. But some masters, they just कान में mantra फूक देते हैं, that is the initiation. Some sannyasis, when we got the sannyas, the whole ceremony was there. But many sannyasis, the teacher, their guru, he says, just gives them the cloth and that is the sannyas for them. That's it. No ceremony. So depends how it expresses itself. So Dvija. They held a brief discussion among themselves to the effect that though this wretched and fallen Brahmin is best avoided by gentlemen because of his great sins, evils, misdeeds, misdemeanors, and vices, but still, since he has come to seek refuge, shelter with us, we must make sincere efforts to salvage him or save him from slipping further into the well of evil. So if he is not given proper guidance, what will happen? He will go default setting hai na abhi killing ki or iski. So even though in front of the sages he has thrown away his bow and arrow and his sword and everything, but there is every possibility he can go back to it, or there is a possibility he will commit suicide, or there is a possibility he will go mad under the weight of all the sins that he has committed. Mind can behave in any different way. So they say, what is their conclusion? If someone has come to us and he is requesting to be protected, it is our duty to protect that person. So, ityuktva ramate nama vyatyastaakshara purvakam ekagra manasatraiva mareti japa sarvada agacchama punaryavat tavaduktam sada japa ityuktva prayayuh sarve munayo divya darshanaha. So this is the one place where you are seeing the mantra diksha is going on now. And they say, ityuktva ramate nama vyatyastakshara purvakam. Oh, Sri Ram, Valmiki ji is telling Sri Ram his story, remember that. So he's saying, oh Sri Ram, deciding after having that discussion, they decided, they reversed the letters of your holy and divine name and said to me, so Ramate nama takshara purvakam means they आगे पीछे कर दिए नाम, राम का म रा कर दिया. So एकाग्र मनसात्रैव मरेति, not रामेति, मरेति. Japa sarvada. So you chant mara. They shifted the words. So mara. So that's what he is doing. So he said, you stay, divine name, and said to me, you stay here and constantly, unfailingly, and with due conviction, faith, and concentration, repeat Mara, 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 Mara. That is the reverse order of Rama, 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 Rama. And until the time we come back again, you should steadfastly repeat, chant these words without fail. Saying this, all those divine sages went away. And there and then, after initiation, Valmiki ji as Ratnakar Daku, he sat there and then, because they said, sit here and do this japa. And all with concentration, with full faith, conviction, unfailingly, constantly. And he sat there and he took. And over the hundreds of years, the ant hill was formed on top of the Ratnakar Daku. And when he was discovered, because the ant hill in Sanskrit is Valmik. So because he came out of the ant hill, therefore he is called as Valmiki. See? Kya sundar story hai. Huh? And saying this, the divine sages went away. Aham yathopadishtam taihi tatha karavamanjasa japanne manasa bahyam vismrutavanaham evam bahutithe kale gate nischala rupinaha sarvasanga vihinasya valmiko bhoon mamopari. I am telling the story before he is telling now. Thereafter I did exactly aham yatha upadishtam. As I was instructed, I did exactly. Taihi means by them. Tatha karava manjasa. And in this way, by constantly doing japa, what is japa? Maram. Continuous repetition of the mantra with intense concentration and faith. Our concentration and faith, is what? Fickle. Another word for it, we get distracted very quickly. Remember the 5 conditions of mind? Moodhamana, Kshiptamana, Vikshiptamana, Ekagramana and Niruddhamana. Moodhamana, dull mind, not qualified to, cannot get concentrated because it's so dull. Always will go to sleep, laziness, procrastination, that's all it will do. Alasya, pramad and nidra. Then second is kshipta, continuously restless, agitated. Today's kids, continuously phone. They have to, I'm getting bored, I want to do something. What bored? Kya bored? Chupchap bat, go and sit in silence. Well, kshipta, also because it is so restless, cannot become focused. Third is vikshipta. Vikshipta is distracted mind. This is us, majority of us. Distracted. We are watching here and suddenly we want to see what is going on. You are listening, suddenly your attention goes, oh, why they are playing so much? Why can't they keep quiet? But while you are thinking about those kids, you have forgotten what I have said here. So you have become distracted. Or here everything is going on, and then the sages were given the food by the Sita Mata, and suddenly the moment you hear the word food, what Vidya has cooked today? Distracted. So no distraction. Then last one is Niruddha. Niruddha is empty mind. That is, if there are no thoughts in the mind, how can you how can you become focused? So the fourth quality is the Ekagra Mana, which is single pointed mind, concentrated mind, focused mind, and that is required. And here he says, with intense concentration, concentration comes by faith that I can do it. The more faith I have, the more concentration will happen. See? And because what is concentration? Your mind is becoming pointed and only a point. Remember Ramchandra ji, when Sugriv met him, he wanted to see what is the power of Ramchandra ji. What did Ramchandra ji do? He shot one arrow which went through the 7 trees, Sala trees. They are very hard. And one shot of arrow pierced all the 7 trees, meaning 7 chakras. So, is our mind so fine and sharp and pointed that it can break through any doubt, any confusion, any misunderstanding, any eruption of desires that is coming up from the subconscious? It is able to pierce through that? For that you need single pointed mind. Only, and that single pointed mind on the divine. When it is on the divine, it will break through everything that is undivine. And as you keep building up, it becomes sharper and sharper and sharper and sharper. And a sharp mind is, so now you will think the mind has become, right now my mind can think so many things, now it is only thinking of one thing, so it has become very small. No, the sharper the mind, more expanded the mind, because it has become free of all other thoughts. All the energy in the mind is only focused on one. It is not getting leaked out to unwanted thoughts and getting the energy is not getting dissipated. So that concentration of energy is like that fire which is able to burn through any obstacle that comes along the way. So here our Valmiki ji is saying, with intense concentration and faith, and when you contemplate on Sri Ram or Om Namah Shivaya or on Om and slowly with that focus, when you are on the mantra, not on your body, you are focusing on the mantra. because that was the instruction given, Marama, Rama, 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 Ram. Slowly, 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 very quickly. It doesn't take too long. Week is too long. Body disidentification happens. You are so engrossed in the name of the Lord that where you are sitting, how you are sitting, should I change the position, do I need thirst, hunger, thirst, do I need to brush my teeth, do I have to take shower? All this goes out of the mind only to merge into the name of the Ram and become one with Ram. That is the only goal in front of your mind. जो कर्मकांडी होते हैं, अरे I have not taken, how can I take the name of the Lord if I have not taken shower? How can I take the name of the Lord if I have not brushed my teeth? लगे रहो. That becomes more important. So here he says, I became unaware, unconscious of all the external world and its stimuli. Meaning, now seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting, all of them were unable to grab his mind. Because his mind was not available to the external world, the mind was only available with single focus to the Rama, 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 Ram. Evam bahutithe kale gate nischala rupinaha. Nischala rupinaha. The mind became nischala. Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischala tattvam. Nischala means, chala means movement, nischala means no movement. So what happened to his mind by chanting Maram, Maram, Maram? It became unmoving. Even those mantras which he was saying first, fast, with focus, with concentration, as they became more and more refined and more pointed, more single pointed, slowly, slowly, the quantity of Ram thoughts in his mind became less and less and less. Slowly, slowly, the gap between the two Ram thoughts became more and more. What is that gap? Nischala Tattvam. And what is that gap? Now he is reaching Ramchandraji, not with, he has never seen Ram. He only knows the word Ram. See? So you don't need to know Ram. You don't need to go know God. You need to only take the name of the Lord. And it will take you to Lord. But faith and devotion should be there. Why it was there? Because the great sages have given me. It cannot be anything. See? And with the passage of long time, since I was absolutely immobile and devoid of any external contact, a mound of mud, Valmiki, formed over me. Valmiki is the anthill. It formed over him. He was totally covered. Imagine thousands and millions of ants walking over you. तुम्हारा क्या हाल होगा? पागल होके मर जाओगे उसी समय. You will die. One ant goes, you feel so tickly. Imagine thousands and millions of ants are going on top of you. And you are inside the anthill. They have made houses inside your ear, inside your nostrils, inside your navel. My God. Thinking also. But they were living. But he was totally disidentified with the body, meaning he was totally because he is disidentified from the body, no thought of the body is in his mind, therefore nothing about the external from the body also. So Valmiki is on top of the body, so naturally it will not be there. Just like when you go to sleep, there is no thought of the body when you are sleeping. So whether you are kicking the dad, in the waking you kick the dad, you will get one big kickback. How dare, do 10 times namaskar. How did you touch daddy with your feet? Isn't it? But in sleep, if you are sleeping with daddy and mummy and the leg goes on the head of daddy or on the tummy of daddy, does daddy say, hey, get up, you have to do namaskar? Nahi na? In the sleep, no, because you are not doing it, you are not there. Similarly, because you are body disidentified, you are not doing it purposely. So here, Sage Valmiki is totally disidentified from the body. And he's totally immobile, meaning he's like a rock he's sitting. He's so absorbed in the name of the Lord that no movement in the body. We cannot stay. You watch yourself, all of you are sitting. How many times in 5 minutes you change your position? No, Swamiji, I am sitting there only. But the fingers are moving, the shoulders are moving, the head is moving. Suddenly the shoulder goes like this to put the sweater on top of the shoulder. Otherwise the pen is in the hand, tick, 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 tuk, tuk, tick, tick, tuk, tuk. Something is going on. Huh? You can't sit quiet. Try. Next 2 minutes, sit quiet. Leave everything. All of you, keep listening, but bring this disposition that nothing I'm going to move. Eyes blink, let them blink, no problems. But you are not going to move the body this way, that way, the fingers this way, that way, nothing. Just 2 minutes only. And I'll keep talking. Tato yuga sahasrante rushaya punaragaman mamuchur nishkramastveti tachrutva turnamuthitaha valmika nirgataschaham nihara deva bhaskaraha mamapyahur munigana valmikistvam munishwaraha. Okay, you can break. How many? She changed. She changed, she shifted. I tell you, मैंने तो कहा था ना, इंस्ट्रक्शन था.
Then I realized I shouldn't be looking there.
Tataha, thereafter, Yuga Sahasrante, after 1,000 years had, Sahasrante, a period of 1,000 years had passed. He didn't die. Ramchandra ji doesn't allow you to die. If you are from Maharashtra? You are from Maharashtra?
Yes.
Have you been to Alandi? You have taken them to Alandi?
No.
You should take them to Alandi. In Alandi, have you heard of Jnaneshwar Maharaj? Jnanoba Mauli?
No.
बताया करो यार ये सब चीजें अपने हैं.
तुम्ही ड्रेस घालून हे केलेलं होतं ना, ज्ञानबा तुकाराम डान्स केलेला
Oh,
लहानपणी
I can
पुण्यात.
But you have to remind them, this is our dharohar. So Jnaneshwar Maharaj, 760-70 years, is still there down in the earth, living
in the mountain or
in the ground. So in the top there is a small, about this size, marble, 40 feet below, he is still sitting there. 760-70 years ago he was born. He is still alive. And what is this Valmiki? 1,000 years have passed and he is still sitting in meditation. Jnaneshwar Maharaj is also sitting in meditation. Because 300 years after he was sitting in meditation, one great saint by the name of Eknath Maharaj, he had taken Jnaneshwar Maharaj to be his guru. And he got Jnaneshwar Maharaj came in his mind. Hey, you call yourself my student, come and help me. Because the root of the tree was choking him. So 300 years later, he opened the cave place, dug the ground, and he found his Guruji there. Young fellow. He's still 21 years after 770 years. So if 300 years later he was alive, even after 500 years he is still alive. There is one, if you Google Mahavatar Baba, he is more than 600 years alive, he and his sister. I have met person, Marfani Baba, he is 350 years old in Amarkantak. Oh, yeah. You have to be fired up. Only study, go to school, but there is much more to life than just studying. Every day do the japa. with lot of focus and concentration and love for the Lord's name, then see, you will also become a great person. Those sages came back again because they had told him, you chant the name of Marama Rama Ram, and after some time we will come back. And now they have come back, and when they came and they said, come out, immediately he got up and came out of the ant hill. Who? Valmiki ji. First he was the Ratnakar Daku. It is not given, that name is not given here. In other stories it is given. But now who is coming out of the ant hill? Who is coming out of the Valmiki? Valmiki. Who was before? A killer. Who is coming out of the Valmiki? A sage. After 1,000 years of tapasya, how long were we able to sit without moving? 25 seconds. See? And he says, when they said, come out, I immediately came out of the Valmiki, and coming out of the mud around like the sun emerging from the mist of the fog. Who had gone into meditation? A killer, a murderer, a looter, one who had committed all the sins, who was afraid of going to hell. Such a person had started chanting the name Ram, Mara, as given by the sages. After 1,000 years, who is coming out? Now don't worry that you have to, oh, I don't know if I will live for 1,000 years. You do it for 5 minutes, man. Half minute was difficult, wasn't it? Do it for 5 minutes. Slowly, slowly, as you keep doing it, your stamina keeps increasing. You do push-ups. So when you were small, how many push-ups you used to do? Half. One. Now how many you can do?
10.
So your stamina has grown, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before, how much chapati you used to eat?
I think one only.
And now?
2 or 3.
My God, I can't eat 2, 3. So stamina, you understand what is stamina? Your capacity is increasing. So same way, start with 2, 3 minutes, slowly it will become 5 minutes, then it will become 10 minutes, then it will become half an hour. And suddenly after some time, you will forget the time and you will be enjoying your union with Ram or whatever God you are remembering. It still happens to people. It can happen to you also. Young age, best time to do it. And then the sages proclaimed, O sage, henceforth you are Valmiki. Now you are called as Valmiki. No, you will not be known by your previous names. See? So a new name is given. So when we did the sannyas, a new name. My teacher told me, now you will be called Swami Paramananda Saraswati. You are infinite bliss. Be happy for no reason. No, be happy for no reason. We are happy only if we get rasmalai. We are happy only if we get coffee. Why are we happy? I am Paramananda, No reason. My name is happy. वाल्मीकात् संभवो यस्माद् द्वितीय जन्मते भवत इत्युक्त्वा ते ययुर्दिव्य गतिं रघुकुलोत्तम अहं ते रामनाम्नश्च प्रभावादिदृशो भवम् अद्य साक्षात् प्रपश्यामि ससीतं लक्ष्मणेन च रामं राजीवपत्राक्षं त्वां मुक्तो नात्र संशयः आगच्छ रामभद्रं ते स्थलं वै दर्शयाम्यहम्. This is what Mahatmas, when they come into our life, great saints, when they come into our life, their words come true. And that he is talking about how this moment in his life has come. He became from a murderer into a Valmiki Rishi by chanting Marama Rama Ram. He had never seen Ram. Now Ram is standing in front of him. Imagine, just talking, all the hair are standing on end. And now Ram, what must be going in the mind of Valmiki sage? So he is eager to tell about his transformation, which brought him to this point where Ramchandraji and Sita ji have come, and he has not gone to Ram and Sita. Sita ji and Ramchandraji have come and given him darshan. Aha! Kya majedar. So that's the background. So since you have emerged from this womb like mud mound, hence this is your second birth. See, when we are born a child, we are a Shudra. When we take at 7 years, when you do the Janeu, Upanayanam, you are twice born. Then when you take sannyas, you are thrice born. Or if you are married, you are thrice born. That also. So here he says, this is your second birth. And what is the new name that has been given to his, because he is born again? It is Sage Valmiki. And the best in Raghu's clan, Sri Ram, saying this, they went away to heavens. O Sri Ram, I have become such an exalted and fortunate one by the virtue of your holy name that I am having the good fortune of viewing you, who are a lotus-eyed one, along with Sita and Lakshman. Verily, without doubt, I have been liberated. O Sri Ram, come. Now I shall show you the place for your residence during your sojourn in the forest or your time in the forest. Ramam Rajiva Patraksham Tvam Mukto Natra Sanshayah Agacha Rama Bhadram Te Sthalam Vaidarshayamyaham. So he has narrated his story and brought him. And when I was like that, when I was inside the Valmiki, one ant used to come and do this, the other ant used to think, all that story he didn't say. Just what is required, he brought there, came. Now, whose name I have been taking, you have come to grace me. Bhagwan always graces. Whether in dream or whether in satsang, you are not going to satsang. Satsang is inviting you. It is a grace. Mahatma's grace. Never say, I am going to see the Mahatma. No, by his grace, the call has come. Those who have gone to Kailash, it's not that I am going to Kailash. Kailashpati is inviting me there. Therefore, I have come. That attitude is important. And that is the attitude of our Valmiki ji. So learn from it. Because when we say, I am doing it, what is happening? What was this finger?
Ego.
So this finger is ego. When I say, I am doing it, I am going for the parikrama, I am taking the name of the Lord, ego is becoming stronger. When we say, the Lord is making this mouth do the japa. The Lord is bringing love into my heart for the name of the Lord. Now there is no ego because Lord is doing it, isn't it? So he says that I have by your sight, because that Parabrahma Paramatma, that infinite Lord is in the form in front of Valmiki ji. So he's feeling very blessed. Now let's conclude. It's already 6 o'clock. Just few more. Eva muktva muni shriman lakshmanena samanvitaha shishyai parivruto gatva madhye parvata gangayoho tatra shalam suvistirnam karayamasa vasabhuhu prakyashchimam dakshinodak Shobhanam Mandiradvayam. Saying this, the sage Valmiki, accompanied by all his disciples and Lakshman, went to a place midway between the mountains and river Ganges and had a large cottage type dwelling constructed there for the use of Sri Ram. If you go to Chitrakoot even now, there is that mountain where Ramchandraji used to live. उसका मेरे को नाम I can't remember the name. Google करके बताओ मेरे को कि क्या नाम है. तो that place is there and you do the parikrama. It takes about 1.5, 2 hours to complete the parikrama. Still that mountain is there. About 3, 4, 5 kilometers from, maybe 5, 6 kilometers from the Mandakini. So Mandakini on this side and Gangaji many kilometers away, 120 kilometers away. And 6 kilometers away from Mandakini is this mountain. Between the mountains and river Ganges, and had a large cottage type dwelling constructed there for the use of Sri Ram. There were 2 rooms in it, one facing east-west and another facing the north-south axis. The description is very clear about the layout or plan of the structure. This fact is different from Tulsidas Ji's Ramcharitmanas, where the hut for Sri Ram was built by Lakshmana alone. In Valmiki Ramayana, the dimensions of the hut are given. So that's why that note is given there. Kamadgiri mountain. So last 2 verses and this chapter concludes. Janakya sahito Ramo Lakshmanena samanvitaha tatra te deva sadrusha yavasan bhavanottame Valmikina tatra supujitoyam Rama sasita saha Lakshmanena Devair munindrai sahito mudaste Swarge yatha devapati sashachya. Sri Ram along with Sita and Lakshman took up residence in that magnificent dwelling most cheerfully and comfortably like gods do in their divine abodes. Having been praised and honored in all possible ways at the hands of Valmiki, Sri Ram along with Sita and Lakshman and accompanied by gods and hermit sages began to live there most happily, even as Indra, the king of gods, lives in heaven with his wife Shachi. So, Sri Ram, is he living alone? He is living with Sita, he is living with Lakshman, he is living with all the forest animals there. He is continuously visited by saints and sages and also by various, the blessings of all the gods is continuously there. What is the blessing? When the blessing of gods, what happens in your life? You are happy wherever you are. You feel content wherever you are. See? And there is abundance at the same time. And in this way, we conclude the 6th chapter of the Ayodhyakand. And next class, we will begin with the 7th canto, Sumantra's return to Ayodhya, Dashrath's death and cremation, King Dashrath's death and cremation, the story of Shravana Kumar, Bharat's arrival in Ayodhya. So that part we will see in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.